How to get the FXCM US dollar chart on TradingView. Been asked this a few times. Did a short video, wasn't very good. Either you guys are all stupid and didn't understand, or I didn't explain it well. I'm going to go with I didn't explain it very well because you guys aren't all stupid, and so besides that would be just rude, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to try and explain it a little better and take a little more time and do a little bit better video on this right now. I've practiced it a couple times, so hopefully this works much better. So we want to get an FXCM chart on TradingView when our broker is Oanda. Now, if you think about it, well, let me get rid of that. You guys don't need to see that horrible trading day that I'm having. If you think about it, there's all kinds of, TradingView works with a lot of different brokers. It works with FXCM, Forex.com, IDC, Saxo, and stocks and Bitcoin and all kinds of stuff. You can trade the CME exchange out of Chicago on TradingView. So it makes sense that in order to do that, you would have to change your broker in TradingView. You'd have to be able to change your broker, right? So that when you type in some future that's on the CME Globex, it'll come up. But a lot of times we don't think about that because we get it all set up for Oanda, and we're just Forex traders, and we never have to worry about it. So we type in EUR/USD, and we get the euro dollar. And we do that quickly. We just type it in and hit enter. But let's look again. Actually, a dialog box comes up. And unless you hit enter really quickly, you would see this, okay? So this is where you're going to set the default broker for your charts, okay? And the other way to get to this is to click this plus sign over here. Click this plus sign. And that's not very intuitive. It's this little plus sign over here you never see. How would you know that? Well, you have to be anal retentive like me and go click on everything, or you would never know. But I did that. I'm anal retentive, and I click on everything and see what it is, and so that's what it is. This is where you set your default broker. And also not very intuitive is this little button up here, which when you click on it, you get all the brokers, okay? So some of you might not have even realized that you could trade the TFEX Thailand Futures Exchange on TradingView. Well, you can't. And in order to do that, you would have to click on this and make that your default broker. But we don't do that. We got all the nice Forex stuff up here. And you can see that right now, FXCM is my default broker. Normally, I would have that set on Oanda, right? But if which it is now set on, that's my default broker. Now, if I want to have the FXCM US dollar index, well, it's really quite simple. All I have to do is click on this, change this to FXCM, and now you see that all these Forex pairs are going to be get their data from FXCM. Okay, now I can do that. I could put the euro dollar chart up here and get data from FXCM to drive that chart if I wanted, but if I tried to enter a trade, it wouldn't enter because it would go, that's not your broker, sorry. But we're not looking for that. We're looking for the US dollar, which you're not going to find here because the US dollar index on FXCM is not a Forex instrument. I just go over and click on all. That's the easiest. I'm in FXCM and I type in US dollar, and there it is. It's actually a CFD, which we can't trade CFDs in the United States. I think Forex has a dollar index, but it's not the FXCM dollar index. You could even do that if you wanted, but you wouldn't be able to trade it because you can't trade CFDs in the United States. Anyway, click here, change to FXCM, type US dollar in here, make sure this is set on all, and when you click on this, bam, what happened? Oh, we're just setting it up. Let's try typing in US dollar, and there it is. And you notice over here this says FXCM instead of OANDA, and that's okay. So now we've got the US dollar from FXCM on a chart in TradingView. Now, a lot of switching back and forth here to get to FXCM and all of that stuff. That's a little confusing. That's a little time consuming, and we don't really want to do that all the time. And that's why we have a watch list. So my watch list has all the Forex pairs from OANDA as a broker all over here. So I can click on any of these and I get it. Now you'll notice down here I have US dollar, and that's from FX. I think if you expand this out, it will say that. No, it doesn't say that. I thought it would. Hover over it. Yeah, if you hover over it, it says FXCM. If I hover over this, it says OANDA. Okay. So I've already got it added into my watch list, but if I didn't, then I would right click in the white space on the chart, and I would go down here and I'd say add to watch list. Once I click add to watch list, pretend I did that, add to watch list, clicked it. Okay, now it shows up right down here. Okay, and what that does for you is it allows you to click on any of these and be confident they're going to be from OANDA, and click on this and it's going to be from FXCM, and you can do all that without going over here and farting around with this. Okay, so what we want to do now is change this back to a default broker of OANDA, okay, which we've done. I just did that. OANDA, that's what we want, okay. So that now, if I type in GBP USD, it should give, it comes up with that chart, and it has OANDA as the broker. I would go ahead and check this as well, and I can just click on this and get that pound dollar chart from OANDA. But I should be able to just go EUR USD and hit enter and still get that from OANDA. Okay, so when you're done, make sure that you've got this checked and you've got this as the default, and then you have no problem. But once you get all these in your watch list, you don't have to worry. You can jump back and forth. See, these are FXCM. That's FXCM. I got to get rid of those because that was, I'll worry about that later. That's in there because of farting around I was doing earlier on, and get those out of there. So there you go. That's how you get the FXCM chart for the US dollar in OANDA. Let me go through it slowly, step by step. Click on the plus sign. Click on this little thing, whatever that is. Click on FXCM. Click on all. Type in US dollar. Uncheck OANDA. FXCM is here. Click on that. Now, why am I having to do that twice? I don't have an explanation for that. But US dollar. I don't know why that happened. Maybe because I've already got it in there. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. But it should work. It should work when you do it. Occasionally I've had to close down my browser to clear the cache to make some of that stuff work right. There it is. Now we should be able to type, no, go back, click on that, change it back to Oanda, click on this. Okay. Click on this, click on this, change to FXCM, uncheck Oanda, type in US dollar. That's how you get it on there. That's how you get it on there. Now I'll show you a little bonus trick. This is pretty cool. Let's suppose you're using a, oh, let me get that off there. You're using a setup like this. You've got 3 charts, 20-minute or 2-hour, 20-minute, 5-minute. And yes, I can switch over to the US dollar. Oh, that is the US dollar. Let's say I'm trading the euro dollar, okay? And you know, if I want to see the US dollar, I can just click over here in my watch list and get it, okay? And that's good. That's a good way to do it. That's okay. But let's suppose actually what you would like to have is a 4th window with the US dollar index in it, okay? Well, you know, if you have this set to make your symbols match and you set up 4 charts, okay, and you put the US dollar in the 4th one, oops, you can't do that. Oops, you got to turn this off. Okay, now I got the US dollar in there, but I got to change that to the euro dollar. I got to change that to the euro dollar, and I got to change that to the euro dollar. And here I got the dollar index. Okay, that's all good. But if I want to switch to the pound dollar, you know, or the Aussie dollar, let's say, then I got to go here and switch to the Aussie dollar, you know, and then I got to go here and switch to the Aussie dollar. And then I got the Aussie dollar in these 3 windows and US. That's a pain in the butt, okay? Let's go back here and switch this to this and switch this to this. That way if I switch, they all switch, right? But I can't. But I still want the FXCM dollar index in a 4th window here. Here's how I'm going to do that. Some of you use the ATR, right? Let's put the ATR on there. ATR, average true range. Okay. And if you use the average true range, you know that the average true range comes up in an oscillator window, or a second window. Sometimes they call it. They call it a second window because this is all one chart. It's just got 2 windows in the one chart, okay? And in the second window, you can put the ATR, the ADX, the RSI, all kinds of stuff like that. And that's what that second window is. Okay, let's get rid of that second window. And we're going to go, we'll go slow here so I don't mess up, confuse you guys. Up here, just to the right of where you changed the candlesticks, is something called compare. Okay, so I'm going to compare, and normally this comes up as a default of having this checked, and if it does, then whatever I put in here is going to come up on top of this chart. That's the main chart. Okay, I don't want to overlay it on the main chart, so if I uncheck that, it's going to go down here in an oscillator window, and I can put all kinds of stuff in there. But one of the things I can put in there is the US dollar index. Okay, so I type in let's put 2 L's in it. Okay, I type in US dollar. I notice this is Oanda. We don't want that checked. We gotta go in here. Come on. Make sure that's on FXCM. And why am I having a problem? Okay. That's on all. Okay. Why is that giving me a problem? Add a symbol. US dollar. There it is. I must have had it spelled wrong. Okay, and I'm on FXCM over here, US dollar. So it comes up. Click on that, and it puts the US dollar in that second window or oscillator window along with these three charts. Now, since this is one chart, right, and this is just another window in the chart, then and these three are still tied together via this being clicked. Now, if I change to the Aussie dollar, these all three change to the Aussie dollar. This is still the dollar index. If I change to the pound dollar, these are still pound dollar, but this is still the US dollar index from FXCM. I can squeeze this down if I want more room to look at my chart, or I can bring it up here and make it an equal window. There it is. That's how it works. Easy peasy, easy to do, hard to explain. I'm not a very good explainer, but I explained her the best I could. There it is. Cool, huh? I guess that's all I have to say about that. So I hope that explanation was a little better, that demonstration explanation a little better. If not, DM me. I'll try and straighten it out. But just take it slow, step by step. The one thing that can mess you up is sometimes, you have to make sure this is changed. Don't forget to change that back, or you're going to have issues. Put that on Forex. Check Oanda. That should put you back into Oanda mode. Okay, so that you can go in here and type in and just hit enter, or EUR USD and hit enter, and everything will come up Oanda the way it should. That's it. That is all there is to it. Hope that helps. Bye. Later. Happy trading.